Welcome to the Greenway Outdoors Podcast, your trusted source for outdoor information and entertainment. The Greenway Outdoors is also an internationally syndicated TV show and conservation advocate aimed at bringing millennials and Generation Z into the outdoors. Welcome to the Greenway Outdoors. Hello and welcome to episode 54 of the Greenway Outdoors Podcast. I am Kyle Green.
I'm Jeff.
I'm AJ.
I'm Ryan Parks.
That's not how I said it. That's not how I said it.
Might as well have.
Oh, I was just making it more fun.
The funny thing is we stumble through that so fast that never once has the camera's been able to keep up with.
Let's do it again slower.
Boom, boom,
All four. Okay,
Yeah, let's
right
do
here.
it.
And they're like, no, we still can't do it. But no, so it's always you just see my face reacting to different names, and normally you'll see me like frown when Jeffrey says his name. Then AJ will say it, I'll be like, good for him. And then you'll say something rude, and I'll be like, this kid.
Rude.
This
Yeah.
kid.
You like your name.
That's wicked rude. I've been like quoting that so much lately. So
Wicked rude.
we've missed a couple weeks because of illnesses and
Kyle was in the hospital.
nope. I was the only one not. Oh,
How
I
was that
sick.
transplant?
How's your new liver?
A new liver. If anything, my liver's good.
Whoa, whoa,
never
whoa,
having
that's true.
alcohol.
And
That's
you got a
definitely
new
true.
liver?
I probably have like from never having alcohol or drugs or anything like that. I probably have one solid liver, like probably
Yeah.
pretty good.
Nice
Although
fil-
if pre-workout gets filtered through there, then I'm
I said
And Red
you
Bull.
got into some weird supplements for a bit, like bee pollen and all sorts of weird
bee pollen's
Bee
like
pollen
pretty
doesn't
common.
sound bad.
workout.
No, it doesn't.
Weird
It does when you're
workout
allergic to it, though.
supplements.
It does when you're allergic to bees. No, I'm
That's
just
why his
kidding.
face looks like that.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, out of the two
I'm the
faces.
rude one.
Out of the two faces, right?
The one that's stuck at 12? You gonna... What?
Jeez. At least I'm not on fast forward.
You talking because of the beard?
No.
Is that you jealous
I'm
of the beard?
trust me, it's not because of the extra facial hair. It's because of the lack of it up here.
It's fine. I don't need top hair.
Yeah, receding
Yeah,
hairline.
that's what someone without hair says.
Yeah, it is. He's going to be a hat guy.
I don't know why you insist on that.
Where did I hear it? I don't know. I picked it up.
Hat
Maybe
guy?
I made it up.
That's
I do that where I make up stuff. I'll be like, haven't you seen that movie? They'll be like, what movie? And I'll be like, that's not a movie. That was just when we went to Florida, and I decided that was a line.
That's what happened with that rocket quote.
Score one for Kyle. Wait, but I'm still in a conversation. Where would I go from here?
Where do I go for
The
here?
movie. Never mind.
It wasn't a movie.
It's probably Jumanji, which, by the way, saw Jumanji 3.
I guess 3.
No, it's technically 3. They're
still-
calling it the third one.
Yeah,
so
they
are?
I was saying 2 as well, and I've been corrected substantially by enough people that then I looked it up and I was like, darn it.
No, yeah.
They're
you're-
calling it
I
3.
stand corrected.
But anyhow,
Stupid.
Yeah, idiot. No, but the end of it led me to believe that there's going to be a 4th one, and it's going to be more like the original, where that world comes into this world, which is pretty exciting.
Nice.
Yeah,
That'd be cool.
But it was one of the funniest things.
It's good?
I cried
I don't doubt
laughing.
it. I don't doubt it's
Apparently, I was embarrassing in the movie theater because I laughed so loud
Really?
the whole time.
Also, the room was full of 6-year-olds, so
No, it's PG-13. Shut up, Ryan.
Yeah, it was 13-year-olds.
I blended right in. He is one of us.
Blended right
he is one of us.
That reminds me of the Wolf of Wall Street, where he's like, something, one of us, ba 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 ba, one
Oh,
of
gosh,
us.
I wish
Yeah,
I knew that
don't-
quote so well.
Yeah, I don't though.
I've never seen that movie.
No. Yep.
Really?
Yeah, I'm a good
It's
person.
not a good Christian movie, but it's pretty.
I'd like to see
interesting.
it.
The fact that it's a true story.
It's a
is
documentary, right?
Great movie.
Kind of.
Scorsese.
A little bit.
Yeah. It's a fugazi. It's a fugazi. It's a wazi. It's a
Wazzy,
woozy.
it's a woozy.
We had a premiere party last week, and it was.
You're getting better at segues.
Nope, it was a couple weeks ago
Couple weeks
actually.
ago. Yep.
And-
Segues mean nothing if you bring them up. So shut up.
I often bring them up. There's me. That was one picture.
That was him
Did you
dancing,
shadow
believe it or
me?
not.
Did you shadow it? So I had on tight pants, and I
Oh.
No, I didn't.
no, it didn't look that bad, but my privates were like out quite a bit in the pic. They're so embarrassing.
Don't worry, they'll cut back to that picture.
Tight pants are not something that I'm gonna.
On stage, light-colored tight pants.
Yeah, if it's
the
dark,
lights.
if they're
Wait,
black.
when
might
you
not
sent
know.
us the photos, I never would have noticed.
I didn't.
I didn't either.
It's not my agenda to look there.
And I edited them. I'm like, I am looking, and
Kyle does. That's
I
the
mean, you
first
were
thing he looks
staring.
at.
I was.
You took your time with him. Notice that?
That's why. Right.
He's like, I spent all the time after I noticed.
They look
I-
enhanced. I don't-
Yeah.
enhanced.
It was embarrassing. Can we go back to the first picture, actually?
He wants everyone to see.
Well, no.
It's not bad in that picture.
No, that's the best of the... That's why I'm okay with us going back to that picture, because it's not as
That's
embarrassing.
why I chose that
Look like
picture.
a normal dude right
Yeah,
there.
it's got a good shadow going for me. The other ones were a mess. just a hello, Kyle. Anyhow, besides
Heyo.
besides the embarrassment of my tight frontal area in those pants, the event went really well. We had about 300 plus people there.
It was really good.
It was an excellent opportunity to be able to share episodes 1 and 2 of season 4. The food was fantastic. Catering with Scott did the catering, and it was it's not our Scott, it's a different Scott, but catering by Scott. We had elk, wild boar, all kinds of food, and
That salmon dip was really good.
you like the
I
salmon?
didn't have
I like
that.
that a lot.
Yeah, I mowed through it pretty good. The food was fantastic. I really liked the meatloaf, actually.
The wild boar sliders.
Yeah, those were good too.
Those
No matter how long
really
they
good.
sat out.
Does say those
Yeah,
were
no
good,
matter how
but
long
I
they sat
feel
out.
like- I feel like they shouldn't have sat out as long.
Tell Jeff that.
Hey, shut up,
tell
Jeff. Oh my gosh, I can't tell you
Tell-
how much that bothered me.
Tell Jeff that story without using names.
Okay, so someone, I'm sure you know who, said
Some monster.
when we walked up to the table, it'd been about 45 minutes since they'd been set out because we were busy doing other things.
Yeah, like saying hi to our fans.
Right, talking to people. And I'm hungry. And they were out on the table and they were ready to be eaten. And I was happy about it. So I went and ate one.
They're the appetizers
They were the appetizers. But we'd been busy. And so they'd been sitting there.
Sure.
for 45 minutes max.
Yes. And I bite into one and someone says, those are probably bad because they've been sitting out so long. And I said, no, they're not.
Loud, by the way.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Think about it this way.
No.
If you went to a restaurant and they
wouldn't
brought that out-
care. You been to a buffet? That sits out for 8 hours.
I've
Yeah,
been to every
eat it.
buffet that I've been around,
Definitely.
and I like it.
What do you think's
I'm
gonna
like, did you refresh this? They're like, no. I'm like, good for me.
Bacteria doesn't
and I've
grow
seen
that
you
fast.
I've
Yeah,
seen
it
you.
does.
I've seen you at a buffet do some damage
Well,
too.
one of the 4 of us is taking a microbiology class.
Okay.
And by the way,
I've never gotten sick.
I have seen you. We ate wings from the next day.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, 6, and they were
that
left
were
out.
left out.
Not only were they
Yeah.
left out at the party,
I
they
didn't.
were left
Hang on,
out overnight.
I didn't
Hang on.
left
To
out.
be clear, I would have probably also eaten that. I had one of the sliders, but I'm just aware of.
But you're defending. You're just blindly
don't
defending.
defend.
someone.
I mean,
I've seen you do
correct.
so much damage at
There's
buffets.
room for
Jeff.
a
I've seen
argument.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, AJ. AJ.
I don't agree. I'm just saying that there's.
Ryan and I will eat our disgusting food no matter
I eat
how.
floor pizza all the time.
I eat sofa pizza. That's
what
It's
I
not even my sofa.
In West Virginia, I got a pizza and then I ate it the next day.
Yeah, I
and it
hated-
sat,
I
it
hated-
sat out
I
the
hated
whole
you for
night.
that. We had an argument over whether you had to refrigerate pizza or whatever after having it out. He's like, no, everyone knows it's cheese. Cheese doesn't go bad.
No. That is not what I
That's
said. 'Cause
also
I
from a
know
movie.
cheese
That's
goes
from a
bad.
movie.
What happened was we were snowed in West Virginia and we couldn't get out.
It's just
And
the two
I
of
was
us.
starving because he wouldn't let me go out to get food.
Yep.
And so
Snowed
the
in's
pizza
a stretch.
we weren't snowed in.
It's like a big.
I had gotten a
We
pizza the
hunted
night
that
half
day.
inch.
We hunted that day.
I had gotten a pizza the night before, and it sat out overnight.
Caesars.
And then I ate a piece in like the morning or something, and I was like, if it had been the rest of the day, if I came back that night, I would be like, nah. But it was only the next morning.
I ridiculed him for a
You're good
half
the next
hour.
morning.
I made that piece that he ate unenjoyable the entire time he was eating it. I like how the entirety of our discussion on the premiere party has been an argument over eating bad food when the food was actually very good.
That's true.
Like I said, the food was fantastic.
You ate that food for several days, didn't you?
I ate it for like 3 days afterwards.
Sat out the whole time.
Sat out during the party too. Can't believe
Left it out in the parking lot.
Can't believe I'm still
I was
alive.
gonna say, how are you still
Jeez,
alive?
How am I walking? I did some damage on that cake too. I ate.
I didn't have any of the cake. I
They had
didn't
the
have any of the
lemon-
desserts.
Lemon things were really good.
I ate
I
all
had
your
one of those.
faces.
You did?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you
That's
did.
that's good.
Took your
no, you
time with
didn't.
AJ's.
I know who took.
I did take my time with AJ.
I know who took my face.
Who?
Isaac's sister.
Did she?
She walked right up to me and said, I pulled it right out of the middle. I was like, you didn't take an outside piece? She's
Like-
like, no, I dug it out of the middle.
Like a monster.
Like a monster.
That's pretty cool.
I like
Yeah, I
it.
guess.
What did Isaac think of the party?
I think
Didn't you
he
say
liked it.
he was bringing a friend that was skeptical of our show?
Didn't he buy a shirt? Oh, that was the brother-in-law.
Yeah, the brother-in-law did.
You
Andrew.
said he was skeptical of the show.
Well,
What was his
I mean,
thought?
he's
What,
just
like he doesn't think that we go out and hunt, or like what?
no,
I don't know. I don't know.
not skeptical in that sense. He's just very opinionated in what he thinks is
he dressed
good or
like
not.
a crazy person. I didn't say
I
anything.
loved it.
Oh, that was okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that was him.
Oh, his
but
roommate.
but he needed to. I don't think he fully understood that our show is not directly. That it's not like for the seasoned hunter. It's for someone who's trying to get into it and learn. Someone who is a seasoned hunter can also watch it, but I think he was going into it thinking, "Oh, this is some like." They know everything, and that's
Right.
how they're going to portray it. When that's not it
Oh, yeah,
at
that's
all.
Far
No
from
way,
it.
far
Matter of
from
fact,
Couldn't be further.
one of the
That's
I don't know
insulting.
anything.
That's insulting.
One of the ridicules that I got from a few people were that the way we portrayed ourselves didn't make us look like experts. I was like, yeah, we're not. Like,
We would never act like we
listen,
are.
I hunt and fish probably more than 95% of people that claim to be hunters and fishermen.
Oh, yeah.
Plain
No
as
doubt.
easy 95%.
No doubt.
You'll notice most of the facts in the show are voiceovers, and we read them.
Yeah. But no matter what, here's the problem with the way we do the show. We go after so many different species with so many different tactics in Hawaii, Texas, Maine, Alaska, all these random places. How on earth could I be an expert at everything?
Right.
We're spread so thin with all the different things we do. I am a decent shot, and I am pretty good at catching fish. Jeffrey the same. But that's what I mean. That like gets portrayed in a lot of different tactics and species. But we're never going to act like the experts. We're going to ask questions because if we're traveling the world, how can we act like we're an expert at everything?
Also,
Extremely ignorant.
and then we're
Put it that
everybody,
way.
and then we're just like everybody else.
And if you, two things, if you didn't ask those dumb questions, which aren't dumb, it's just maybe someone doesn't know.
I think you're probably referring. You can look right
More-
at Jeff.
okay.
Yeah, he's right
You know what's
there.
funny?
You don't got to
I
say
just
it to
didn't want.
me.
I didn't want to
The
do
last thing you said, the whole point was completely lost on me because you just very casually complimented me. I'm a great shot and I'm an okay fisherman. So is Jeff. And blah, 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 blah. And I was just waiting for you to say
You knew it was
something.
coming.
And I was
But
just
then
nice.
you didn't. And I'm like,
Hey,
Is he
why,
sick?
why are you being nice to me?
are you okay, buddy?
You're dying, aren't you? That's why you were late.
Dying. Where's the bad news?
it. If you didn't ask those questions, then it wouldn't be in the show, and you wouldn't learn the simple things of a hunt.
Learning with the audience.
And I rather know a little bit about everything than be
Claim.
an expert on
Claim to be an
white
expert.
than claim to be an expert
Self-
and an expert on whitetail hunting or
Self-titled expert.
turkey hunting.
We've met a lot of people that are experts.
Experts.
No,
Oh, they can't wait to act like they are.
Self-titled
Right.
experts.
Yeah, I still have never forget though. I was just going bear hunting and just
We knew
just
nothing.
nailing it, and it was like, wow, that was
Easy.
I can't believe this. I cannot believe that worked out for us.
It
You
worked
just
out really
go
well.
find a poop. It's it.
They just come in after you find the poop. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. But what
Oh
did
my
you
God.
did you get any feedback though from him on what he
No,
thought?
oh yeah, no. When he and because he had seen episodes from season 3, I think he had seen Python, and he definitely appreciated the improvement from last year.
I
Which
just
is,
wish we could go back in time and just be better.
hey, if we're
already.
not making that progress every year, then we're doing something wrong, though.
I know.
So it was good to hear that, and he after seeing the new the way we're doing everything now, I think he had a greater appreciation for what we do and how we're doing it because
That's cool.
because he had more understanding of what it is.
So if you don't know, you're probably really confused by now. This isn't just a podcast. We have a television show. It's called The Greenway Outdoors. It's on Sportsman Channel. And right now, as of January 2020, its main time slot is 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Sportsman Channel. But go to our website, thegreenwayoutdoors.com. Look us up. Look where you can watch our show. Look where it's available, because that's an ever-changing thing. But that's where we're available right now, and we're discussing Season 3 episodes, Bear, Python, and some of the other ones, and just kind of the growth where we've seen from 3 to 4. And it was substantial, and it was cool to share that with everybody at the premiere party. Like I said, we had like 300-400 people there. Getting to have that experience and get to meet and greet with people that like genuinely really dig the show, like the pod, and I was surprised we got as many compliments on the podcast before the shows aired. People were like, "Oh, I really like the podcast," even more than the show to me. I don't know if you
wow.
guys got.
I got quite a few compliments on that too.
Yeah.
We got quite a few. Oh yeah, I've seen all your shows. Yeah, all the podcasts. Like, Oh, you call them shows.
Oh, that one gets
Wait
me.
till you see
You
what
call
we
them
really
shows.
do.
You call them shows, okay.
You call them shows.
You probably also call magazines books, don't you? But
But it was a good time. I want to thank everyone for coming out. I want to thank the people. Times Up Outdoors was there. They had an excellent booth with some great prizes. I want to thank NRM Streamcast, who's obviously our podcast partner, for being there. And then also I'd like to thank Carbon TV, who is there, who actually airs our podcast as well. We have a great affiliation with them, and they're great partners. The Sportsman Alliance. The way I describe the Sportsman Alliance is the people that protect our hunting and fishing rights from people that are trying to take them away. So they're the people that, when a new law is passed where you can't hunt here, you can't do this there, they're the ones that go in and fight it for you. So a big thanks to them. The American Heritage Girls, who we actually did a podcast with last week. Check out episode 53 if you haven't yet, to learn about the American Heritage Girls and their program that is, I guess now I can say it because we can say whatever we want now, but it's a big.
because they're not here.
Yeah, but it's a replacement to Girl Scouts and Boy Scouts and the American Heritage Girls and the Trail Life programs, ultra Christian, conservative, and they keep boys with boys and girls with girls, and the program separate. And I think it's pretty fascinating what they do.
It was really cool.
So I'd like to thank them for that as well, and then also Trevorrow, our partners with our cooking studio as well, who sell Wolf and Sub-Zero appliances. If you're interested in buying Wolf or Sub-Zero appliances, Trevorrow in Michigan is your only choice for Ohio and Michigan, but they make custom appliances that are really, really awesome. So I'd like to thank all of them for coming. Really appreciate it. The episode that has not aired yet, and that will be airing in a couple weeks, actually, is our first combination episode. It's wild boar,
That's true.
as well as spearfishing, and I had my reservations about it because spearfishing, with really not having, you can't talk underwater, right? So you're missing a lot of sound. And then we had that freak catastrophe happen where we ended up losing a bunch of footage, all the aerial footage actually, from that trip. And then on top of that, not having talking underwater, it had me really nervous about how it was going to turn out. But oh my gosh, did it not freaking turn out awesome? And on top of that, the boar hunt was short and sweet. So putting those two together, it was our first time ever doing a combination episode. And the Greenway Gear Checklist touches on that. And I'm going to go through the episode a little bit today, too, and actually how the TV show is laid out, because I think it's something that's important to people. But before we do that, I just wanted to show you guys a sneak peek at our wild boar spearfishing episode, because, man, am I excited to share it with everyone.
That's a good one.
And it's coming. Just... So that is just a glimpse at that episode, and you can check that out on Sportsman Channel. Go to our website, and you'll be able to see and do countdowns. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram. We keep you up to date with when episodes are airing, when they're on, and how you can watch them. But excited to really share that one with you guys. And we're talking about how it's a different outline for that episode, and even more so, talking about the structure of our actual show typically. So our show is broken up into 5 segments. We do something called the Greenway Gear Checklist at the beginning of every episode. So every episode's about a specific tactic for a specific species. Could be hunting or fishing. We could be hunting wild boar in Hawaii. We could be axis deer hunting in Hawaii. We could be in Texas fishing for striper. We could be up in Michigan jigging for walleye on the Detroit River, or we might be ice fishing in Canada. It just completely depends, but it's a specific tactic for a specific species every episode. Then we give you the Greenway Gear Checklist, which is the gear you need for that episode. We're not product pushing. We're not shoving it down your throat. We're just saying, hey, if you want to lay out goose hunt, you're going to need a blind. You're going to need a goose call. You're going to need that flag. Here's how you're going to use it. Here's why you need it. Here's our recommendations on it. That way someone who's new to hunting and fishing can say, oh, wow, that's awesome. So this is what I need to actually perform this hunting or fishing trip. The second segment's called the Conservation Corner. Now, the Conservation Corner, basically, we set it aside to kind of decriminalize the hunt. You know, in a day where if you post a deer picture or a bear picture, if you're the Putmans online, talking about how excited you are to be able to harvest something to feed your family, you're going to be attacked for that. Well, there's always the thought of, well, let me explain to you the conservation hands-on model from hunters and fishermen. But normally people won't listen. But with our show, we took it a step further to say, okay, here's the hands-on conservation model. And so, for instance, if we're hunting turkeys, in 1960, the wild turkey was almost extinct in Michigan. So because of hunters' dollars and efforts, we now have a huntable population. I joined the Wild Turkey Federation. I buy a turkey tag. And guess what? With that money, that's going to reintroduce 3, 4, 5 wild turkeys into the wild. And on top of that, it's also going to give us an opportunity to help their ecosystems. So by me buying that turkey tag and that license and that conservation organization membership, I'm putting more turkeys into the wild than I am taking. And that's because I can only take one, maybe one. With us, that's not always a guarantee. Although Ryan did get his first turkey this year, which was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
that was really fun.
So those two segments basically aimed at educating them on what they need gear-wise and also the conservation and how hunters are actually helping the conservation of those species. Then after that, we have something called the reality show segment. And we're cycling through pictures on some of our trips right now so that you can get a look at them. But the actual hunting and fishing trip. So, again, we don't act like experts. If we know what we're talking about, we're going to tell you. But we're going to incorporate experts when we need them, or we're going to have you stumble along with us on the journey. But it's filmed in a reality show style format. It's not a kill shot show. You will see animals harvested, but it's not a kill shot show. It's a reality show that just happens to be about hunting and fishing. Then we have what we call the prayer segment, which is a little bit misguided because it's not a prayer.
Misleading?
Misleading? Misguided? Well, you'd be guiding them wrong if you did that. Don't make me defend my terrible grammar.
I guess.
Yeah.
It makes it sound like a bad thing.
It makes it sound like you talk into the microphone so we can hear you. But the whole point is, the point of that prayer segment is, do move it up closer to you, though. We are having a little trouble hearing.
I'm like an inch away from it.
Yours sounds...
I think mine might be just down a little.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm sure it's their fault, Jeff. It's always somebody else, you know? The guy... No. Anyhow, the actual prayer segment is not a prayer. It's a voiceover lesson that we learned while on the hunting and fishing trip. And most people who are watching that show are going to relate to the lesson we learned because of the way that we portray the show, that they're able to follow along with us and be part of the group. And because they're part of the group, they kind of learn the same lessons we do. And with that, we incorporate a Bible verse that goes along with that lesson to let people know that, you know, in the good, quality, pure excitement of hunting and fishing, God's right there with you. And then the coolest thing is, you know, the number one rated content right now with millennials is cooking shows. I would have never guessed that.
Never.
So we incorporated a cooking segment at the end that we show you how to cook what you get. Farm to table, organic, getting things directly from nature is sexy right now. That's how they like to get their food. So we incorporate a recipe for that specific species that we got. So in a half-hour show, cover the Greenway Gear Checklist, the conservation, the actual hunting and fishing trip. We cover the lesson, incorporate a Bible verse into that, and we show you how to cook it in our studio kitchen, A to Z, every single episode. And the reason why we really laid it out there and the structure that we did was because 60% of hunting and fishing licenses are sold to white males over the age of 55. Now, the problem with that is that's where all the money comes from that I just explained from our conservation corner. The licenses, the conservation organization memberships, those are the dollars. That's it. That's where it comes from. And Lord knows we can't raise our taxes anymore to even remotely try and cover that, what is it, $3 billion industry?
Something crazy like that.
Some insane industry. Literally, it's like 4% of our GDP, which is higher than oil. So 4% of our gross domestic product comes from hunting and fishing activities. So imagine losing 4%, what that would do to the country. That'd be literally a depression.
That includes just buying something from a store.
Yeah. That's not just hunting and fishing licenses. That's just the industry itself.
Everything in the industry contributes in some way to our environment.
Exactly. So if you buy ammunition, some people don't know this, there's an act in place that was put in place by hunters and fishermen that when you buy ammo, when you buy hunting equipment, things like that, there's an extra tax in there that actually goes towards hunting and fishing and conservation. So every single thing you buy when it comes to hunting and fishing helps. Here's the issue. If 60% of those people are white males over the age of 55, then what happens when they're gone? in the next 10 to 15 years, those numbers are going to really trickle down because a lot of those guys are actually way above 55. They're like 70, but the demographic stats are that way. Well, the 10, 15 years, they're either going to be done hunting and fishing or just doing conservation. Or dead. You know what I mean? So the real issue is we don't have a way to replace that. Millennials aren't replacing it so far, and Generation Z is even farther away on replacing it. So we have to inspire new sportsmen and women to hunt and fish. And that's why taking the Greenway Outdoors to the mainstream is so necessary, because we have to reach the people that aren't interested in hunting and fishing. We do that by telling them what gear they need. We do that by covering the conservation of the species, decriminalizing the hunt, letting them know that what they're doing is actually helping the species by hunting and fishing. We touch them with a moral lesson. We show them how to actually do the hunting and fishing trip, and we show them how to cook it so that they can be self-sustaining. And it's something that, lessons that we're kind of portraying it in this millennial Generation Z arena, but it's the grit and the truth behind what built America. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
we're making that known. And as we get farther away from God, as we get farther away from our roots, and as we get farther away from these sorts of lessons and important things, we go downhill. The country goes down. So hopefully with our show, by reaching people, not hopefully, we'll reach people, we'll replace those demographics. There's going to be a lot of millennials and a lot of Generation Z. So I don't even need the same amount as they needed from the other generations, because we've got so many people. I don't need the same percents. I just need the same numbers to get people in. And then obviously people like Uncle Ted Nugent and everyone else, we have to hold those accountable that manage those dollars to make sure that they're used effectively. So there's a whole big circle to the entire thing. And the thing is, it's the most perfect model. The hands-on conservation model that is in North America is the most successful in the world. There's a reason why only rich people get to hunt and fish in Europe. Do you know why? Because there's only so much game, and it's so expensive to do it that it's not reasonable. Here, it's the people that don't have a ton of money that have access to hunting and fishing and food and everything like that. And if you can't tell me that that's the hunting and fishing is for the everyman, if that doesn't bring you back to, when the world was pure, I don't know what is.
It really is the sport that, especially in America, that all walks of life participate.
Really, it's only in America.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no other country where it's easy to do. Even in countries like Africa, for instance, the model, because they destroyed their species into an oblivion by poaching and overhunting and things like that. The only way to bring them back is with massive amounts of dollars, which comes from people in America who spend those dollars there. So again, they're able to take some, but for the most part, it's the people that come from America that hunt and then donate the meat back to the people, because they need to bring that back, and that's the model there. So we're the most successful model. There's more deer in North America right now.
Canada's up there.
North America, meaning
North America.
including,
My bad.
yeah, Canada's a similar process, and
Canada's in North America.
yeah, it's still there. It's like everybody gets one. It's cool.
That's all right. That's fair.
But yeah,
Let the comments roll.
yeah. Be like, what an idiot, that guy in the flower shirt. And he's like, oh god, man, we get some funny comments.
Oh, I love it.
Dude, on some of our videos, we've got some with like 130,000 views and stuff like that. And once they get that high, you get like 200-300 comments, and like 50% will like what you're saying. Let's say 60% like what we're saying. 40% won't, or 30% won't, and then 10% are just here to rip on one of us.
Oh, yeah.
And they all pick
That's
one.
their only goal. They didn't even watch the full
Yeah.
video. They watched the first 2 minutes and went, I got what I need.
Yeah. Look at that idiot with the glasses.
Next clip.
I bet he didn't say anything useful.
It's as brutal as some of them get. It's actually never bothered me.
No.
Some people, like, I hear about like real celebrities like talking about how much, like, obviously they get a lot more of it, so maybe it's different. But from what I've seen so far, I find it comical, and that bothers me not
You
at all.
don't even know me.
Where's your TV show?
True.
That's a good shot. I like it. With that being said, talking about sustainability, conservation, and obviously the betterment of wildlife, which is something we're really passionate about. In the news right now, you can't turn it on without seeing the horrific nature of what's going on with, according to the news, just koalas, but actually all of
Mostly koalas.
all of Australia right now with the fires. And the scary thing is they're pointing out arsonists, thinking that this was set on purpose by people. And if that just doesn't explain you the evil that is in the world, I don't know what does.
Environmental terrorism.
That's
what
literally
it is.
That's really good. Ryan, why don't you take it away on this?
So I'm. It's unfortunate that this is going on. and I have a few points to make about it.
Good, because I didn't research it. This is you.
Well,
It's good so far. Keep going.
Yeah.
yeah.
No pressure.
This
So-
is just bad.
Obviously, there's fires going on all over Australia, and they believe a lot of it has been set by arsonists and these environmental terrorists. But and everyone's upset about it, saying it's some people do believe it's environmental change and things like that, and they are having a drought.
I've seen a lot of both on what you're saying.
But here in America, we have controlled burns, and that prevents in the event that there is a wildfire that starts, that it will stop there.
Yeah, 'cause-
it's not as likely.
And explain that real quick. So basically, if you imagine
The paper's coming out.
Imagine
It
a
should be
paper,
a
right?
segment, the paper segment.
I know
We
the
gotta
paper.
get him a pen.
Yeah. So if
Maybe
you-
not.
Dry erase.
if you're looking at the paper, and imagine this line right here, this is all perfect, lush, ready to be set on fire land, right? Nice and dry and pretty and just good plant life. Just
Gasoline plants.
wants to be burned, right? And this is where the arsonists go. Now, right up here at this line, past this, imagine this area. We already did a controlled burn up there, and we did it over here and over here, all around the paper. Well, if you set fire to this, once it gets to these lines, there's nothing to burn there. So you kind of corner it in. So they'll actually set fires to stop fires sometimes.
Correct.
I feel like this is where we need Times Up Outdoors to talk to us about it, the firefighter guys.
Yeah.
But so that's what controlled burns are. And we also do it to, young forests are the best environment for upland game birds and pretty much all species.
Correct. And
all species. So we'll do burns, and there's trees that won't even grow until there is a burn.
It's true.
So there's some benefits to it in those controlled burns. I just want to touch on that.
There's seeds that come off trees that they will not, those seeds will not open up at any point until they are set on fire, and it cracks the seed open, and then they can be planted.
Right.
So that's interesting. But like you said, when something burns, it comes back much more lush. All that ash and all that dead stuff that's been burned helps fertilize the ground, and things come back. And in some of those photos, you could see after the burns that have just happened, there's already plants starting to come.
Really?
Yeah. I don't know if they can pull it back up.
grasses and things. Yeah.
Yep, grasses were popping up, trees were starting to bud out again because a lot of the bigger trees don't get burned to the core.
No.
They're still alive in some way.
Yep.
But so these wildfires are terrible, and in the back of my head, I hope this isn't it, but I think it's mismanagement of their wildlife. We have taken control of our environment here in America, where we do our controlled burns because we understand the value of a controlled burn and what it does for the environment. I don't know if that's something they practice there, if they understand that. So
I mean,
I'm sure
you
they,
could say the same thing about California.
That's one of the hottest countries
but that
in the
still
world.
that they
True.
do it there.
Yeah.
If properly taken care of.
So
that
it
was
could
part
be
of
a lot worse,
with
for
these
example.
past fires in California. That was part of the issue, that those forests weren't being properly taken care of. So, I don't know what it's like there, and I know it's been really dry and it's warm.
Drought as a
but
factor.
I don't believe it would have been as bad had they taken the proper precaution necessary to keep these forests the way they
It's
should have
almost
been.
like a full-time job just to manage the forest to make sure that this kind of stuff doesn't happen.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to know the numbers on how many people are involved in something like that here in the States.
There's not really much or any hunting anymore in Australia. There's some, but not
Yeah.
much because they took away all the guns.
Yeah. I don't know. I found it interesting. I don't know how they deal with things like that there
It'd
if
be
they if
interesting.
they do that.
It'd be interesting to pull the conclusion of, because Australia gave up all their guns, which is insanity. At least the good guys did. The bad guys still have them. So that's good. But Australia gives up their guns, and that obviously is going to do something to hunting and fishing and what you're able to do and everything like that, especially hunting, obviously. Then the correlation of the funding that comes from that in order to keep things from like this happening. Because like even for instance in Michigan, so our water quality is managed by the Department of Natural Resources that is funded from the hunting and fishing licenses. Our forests, our anti-poaching efforts, our species sustainability acts, our forest protection, like the controlled burns and the things that we do. And we've seen controlled burns plenty of times.
Yeah.
The clear cutting that is done sometimes. And
That's another great one. That brings back a lot of different animals to the ecosystem.
right. Nothing like a clear cut that you didn't know they were going to do. And they clear cut it and they knock all these trees down and then they're still there. And you're just trying to get to a trout stream, but you're just trying to climb over.
It's tough to walk through. It's real tough to walk through. But especially in Michigan, we do a lot of that, and the forest that comes back and all the animals and the birds and everything. it's incredible the amount of life that comes back.
That's awesome.
Nature finds a way.
We were in North Carolina and they were doing a controlled burn and they were directing everybody through. It was on both sides.
I've been in one in California too.
It's pretty interesting. On both sides, you could see the flames, and it was controlled, but they were allowing people to drive through it to keep that forest healthy.
Same here.
It's very, very interesting.
It is. It's an interesting thought to wonder how much of this is management. But I would also bet, to defend them a little bit, that if it was arson, then I guarantee there was a big strategy there where they did it.
Yeah, and what's up with that?
Oh,
you know?
I agree, but in my head, I'm wondering, could it have been prevented in any case?
Right, it's just like a
had
security.
It been yes.
No, I get it. Very interesting.
But still, it's terrible that someone would think, "Yep, that's what we got to do."
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of security, this is a little kid, apparently.
2 years old.
Okay. Wow, small.
Small.
Okay, so a 2-year-old boy or girl, do you know?
Boy.
Boy? Can you tell me the story?
So there wasn't a lot on the story. There was a video interview, but in New Hampshire...
Oh, I thought there was a video. I was like, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, that would be pretty wild.
And let's roll the clip.
He's got him. He's got him.
In New Hampshire, there was a dad who killed a coyote with his bare hands after it had attacked his 2-year-old son. It came up to...
What a feeling.
I can't imagine. It came up to his son. They were on a walk or something through a park, and it grabbed at the kid's coat and was coming back for more. And
Is that the guy in the gloves?
No, that's Jeffrey.
Yeah,
Is that the guy in the club?
no way that guy would have killed a coyote.
Yeah.
It takes hours to skin one though.
Yeah. 5 of them. 5 hours.
5 hours.
We gotta get that out of your mom's fridge. Oh my gosh.
Huh?
We gotta get that coyote out of your mom's fridge.
Yeah. We do.
We're bad people.
Take it to taxidermist.
I
That's all we
know,
gotta do.
but we're bad people.
No, they got plenty of space.
Killed it like 8 months ago.
Yeah, it's frozen.
Anyways, that's a side subject. We gotta get on that.
The dad was able to get a hold of this coyote and was able to leg lock it and got rid of that sucker.
What do you mean,
He
leg
killed
locked
it. He suffocated it to death.
Oh, I see. Okay.
Choked him out.
Yeah,
Nice.
and I had read also that earlier in the day this coyote had been during the daytime was messing with other people.
So he's got something going on probably.
Yeah, I don't know whether it was what it was, if it was rabies or he was just desperately hungry.
Yeah.
But he was acting odd for a coyote. But
Where was it? New Hampshire?
New Hampshire. In the video interview, this guy, he'd never killed anything before, and
What a way to do it.
yeah,
cool.
he
Nothing like kicking it off the old school way.
he's
bare hand coyote kill.
he's never done anything like that before, and he said that coyote definitely wanted to live, but
Wow.
he
won.
wanted to live more.
He won.
Yeah, you wonder too, like when he attacked it, there's no telling, especially an animal. So for those of you who don't know, coyotes don't make a habit of roaming out during the day. They're a night roamer. And if they're out during the day, it's kind of like raccoons. You're pretty skeptical, like something's probably going on with them if they're just chilling out during the day.
Yeah. I've seen them like in the late morning.
Yeah.
Sometimes out, but usually they're just trying to get back to where they sleep.
Yep. Yeah, they're day sleepers. So for this to happen during the day, that automatically triggers something in our mind saying maybe that wasn't a healthy coyote. On top of that, though, you wonder like what would have happened like if he's that desperate for food and did all that. Dad attacks him, and then they fight or whatever, and he lets him go. Would he run away, or would he be like, and now back to the meal?
Right.
You know what I mean? So you just can't take that risk.
That's a good point.
Especially with something that's sick, most likely.
Yeah, and it sounds like as much as this coyote had been messing with people, it wasn't. If he had was able to scare off that coyote, it would have come back at some point.
Dude, coyotes are so. That's the other thing is that's a coyote that's willing to attack people, so it's got to be taken out.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Trust me, there's no shortage of them. There's way too many of them, but they are so fast. They're so much faster than you think. Like you ever seen one run?
They fight
and you're like,
funny.
When you see them run, it's like, how's that even a thing? It doesn't look like it's real the way they're so fast. It's
Just
like
like bears.
I remember one time I
Yeah,
was
bears don't look like
It's
they're
like
fast, but they
moonwalking,
are.
but they're going faster than their
That's a
legs
good
are
point.
going.
Yep.
It's
It's
very
bizarre.
strange. Yeah, but coyotes are obviously way faster.
Yeah,
than bears,
the
so.
guy walked away from it pretty clean.
So stupid.
No, actually, bears are supposed to be really.
Grizzly bears, incredibly
There's
fast.
something like 30, 40,
It's
35.
I'm not sure exactly, but it's fast.
Yeah, it's a black bear can climb a tree at like 25. Climb a tree at 25 miles an hour. You can't even run that
Oh my
fast.
gosh, just
Yeah,
up
he's
this
just
tree.
You imagine seeing that come up for like a split second and then he's in your face? Ugh. Breath probably
Although
smells like
you could
Jeff's.
probably spit on it and be scared and run away.
That was for the shot earlier. Well, anyhow, we've got a recipe here, and it's from episode 1 of season 4. And we went sturgeon fishing, and we've been talking about sturgeon in the last few episodes and so on and so forth. But we didn't catch a sturgeon in the slot, which is in Michigan is 42 to 50 inches the only way you can keep it, which was a bummer because I did want to try it. Plus, we don't get enough hate mail as it is, so I figured catching figured getting a sturgeon and eating it would be a great way to kick off some anger. But because of that, we ended up keeping a catfish while we were out there.
Mm-hmm.
And we were dedicated to making a recipe that wasn't just deep frying catfish. We're actually able to share it with you today, and I'm going to go ahead and roll that. So thank you so much for tuning in to episode 54 of the Greenway Outdoors podcast. Check us out on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, Carbon TV, NRM Streamcast. We'd love to hear from you on episodes you like to see. Also, check out our show currently as of January 2020 on Sportsman Channel at 9:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Thank you so much for tuning in. Stay green. For today's recipe, we're going to be cooking ancho chili catfish over the grill. For this recipe and many others, visit thegreenwayoutdoors.com. Going out for sturgeon, we only caught one that was well out of the slot, so we're not actually able to eat one. But that being said, we still need to cook up some protein on the grill today. We caught a lot of catfish, and while people don't always like catfish, the people that do always fry it. So I was determined to create a recipe that was slightly more healthy than deep fried, and we're going to do it today on our Traeger grill. Let's get started. Start by adding hickory big game pellets to your grill and preheat to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. Then spread your spice mixture paste all over the fish. Taking into account the size of the catfish fillet, you're going to cook for 5 to 6 minutes and then flip and cook for an additional 2 to 3 until the meat starts to easily flake away. Once they're ready, pull them off that grill. Serve over a healthy bed of couscous and enjoy. Getting done with this and looking at it, honestly, it looks more like a lobster tail, how it pumps up.
It ain't.
Yeah. This is, if there was ever a poor man's lobster, I guess it would be the catfish. The spices smell good.
I don't think I've ever heard anyone call it that.
That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I like how it brings out the flavor. A big catfish out of freshwater isn't always known as like the best tasting fish. But if you cut off the fat and the red and all the gross stuff, it's really not that bad. And if you get a sturgeon that just happens to not be in the slot that you need, this is a great alternative. Keep the catfish while you're out there. Thanks so much for tuning in. Stay green. We hope you enjoyed this week's episode of The Greenway Outdoors. Check us out on NRM Streamcast, YouTube, Carbon TV, and everywhere podcasts can be found. Please submit all show ideas to thegreenwayoutdoors@gmail.com. See you next week. Stay green.